Following directions to Ouachita Baptist University.
Good evening and welcome to Sully Anderson Field on the campus of Ouachita Baptist University for Great American Conference Softball. Game one of a three-game set between the visiting East Central University Tigers and the home team, your Ouachita Baptist University Tigers. Good evening. This is Chris Babb sitting in for Matthew Branch. He'll be along with us tomorrow for the doubleheader. It's a very important series for both of these two teams. Both of these teams come into this series with identical 13 and 14 Great American Conference records. Coming into today, these teams were tied for 8th place, the ever-coveted 8th place spot in the Great American Conference standings, as the 1 through 8 teams will host the Great American Conference tournament, a single elimination tournament in Bentonville. But with the Arkansas Monticello win today over Oklahoma Baptist, East Central and Ouachita both moved up a spot. So East Central and Ouachita tied for 7th place in the GAC with identical 13 and 14 records. Oklahoma Baptist, after being swept by UAM this weekend, is now 14 and 16. UAM up to 11 and 19. We're ready to roll, and we will give you the starting lineups as we go. Leading things off for East Central will be Gabby Quintanilla, Megan Lesko, and Tatiana Bryant. In the circle for Ouachita will be Nikki Schneider. Schneider 6-5 on the season, a freshman, 2.13 ERA, 12 appearances. This is her 12th start. She also has 11 complete games, 79 innings pitched, giving up 63 hits, 33 runs. 24 of those are earned. She faces Gabby Quintanilla, a freshman, second baseman, stands in from the right side. Megan Lesko, also a freshman in the lineup, batting second and playing third base. The 1-1 count, foul ball out of play. And the count is 1-2. Take a look at the defensive lineup for Ouachita. Around the infield, left to right, Sloan Precure at third, Hope Wade at shortstop, Lacey Ornelas at second base, and Madison Miller at first. The 1-2 pitch, a changeup, misses, and the count is even at 2-2. Left to right around the outfield for Ouachita, Kendall Moyer in left field, Heather Brown in center, Callie Jordan in right field. The 2-2 count from Schneider to Quintanilla is high for ball 3. 3-2, full count on the leadoff batter for the East Central University Tigers that come into the game 17 and 16 on the season, 13 and 14 in GAC play. The 3-2 pitch popped up in the infield. Second base, camps under it. That is Lacey Ornelas for the first out of the inning on the P4 for the first out. And so now Megan Lesko. Lesko comes into the game batting .413. 45 hits, 12 of those doubles. She leads the East Central team in doubles with 12. She also is tied for the team lead in home runs with 6. First pitch from Snyder is outside for ball 1. Overcast day here at Sully Anderson Field. Sun has been on and off all day. We'll talk about the conditions as we go. The 1-0 pitch is a lazy fly ball into left field. Left fielder Kendall Moyer catches it on the run for the F7 and the second out of the inning for Ouachita. For those who are not in town watching this, a lot of rain last night. I'd say upwards of 3 inches of rain fell in Arkadelphia. Tested out the tarp. The tarp at Sully Anderson Field works nicely as Schneider faces Tatiana Bryant, the first baseman, a junior, batting .302 on the season. Started and played in all 34 of East Central's games. About 3 inches of rain here in Arkadelphia last night, and we'll kind of talk about that process of getting the field ready to play between innings, before the bottom of the first. Nikki Schneider, 2.13 ERA, 6-5 on the season. The 2-0 pitch just misses, and the count is 3-0. Bryant batting third in the ECU lineup. If she gets on, Kaylee Ham, the right fielder, will bat. The 3-0 pitch fouled out of play, and the count is 3-1. As we mentioned, these two teams are tied with identical 13-14 records. Tied for 6th. East Central, I said 7th earlier, but East Central and Ouachita tied for 6th. The 3-1 pitch is a nice solid base hit up the middle for Bryant. She is second on the team in hits with 32. She now has 33, and that brings up Kaylee Ham, the freshman right fielder. 3 of the first 4 batters in this ECU lineup are freshmen. Ham bats .270, has started all but one of the games ECU has played to this point. First pitch she sees from Nikki Schneider, catches the outside part of the plate for strike 1. So 2 outs, runner on first, 0-1 the count on the late strike call from the home plate umpire. The 0-1 pitch is high. Nice job by Julian Jones getting the start behind the plate, as is tradition for Ouachita. Mentioned those 3 of the first 4 freshmen. 7 freshmen in this East Central lineup. The only non-freshmen are Tatiana Bryant, the junior, who just got that 2-out single, and Rochelle Mingwasser, the sophomore catcher, who bats next. She's in the on-deck circle. Young ECU team. The 1-2 pitch. Ham lays off of it, and the count is even at 2-2. Overcast day. Tell on your picture, not a lot of sun shining. Starting to set behind home plate. The 2-2 pitch is a changeup. She just gets enough of it to get it over the outstretched glove of Hope Wade at shortstop. So a nice plate discipline on the 2-2 pitch to stay there on the changeup. And so now ECU has a runner in scoring position in Tatiana Bryant. She reached with a 2-out single. Kaylee Ham just had a 2-out single. Nice hit on a changeup, just getting over the glove of Hope Wade. Rochelle Mingwasser, a sophomore catcher, batting .295 on the season. Tied for the team lead in home runs with Megan Lesko. She has 6, is the team leader in RBI with 23. The 1-0 pitch catches the outside part of the plate for strike 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here, top of the first. ECU trying to open up things in this top of the first inning after getting 2 2-out singles. The 1-1 pitch popped out of play, and Schneider's ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Going to be a lot of balls put in play today. If they go foul, there is no standing water on the infield. There was standing water in the outfield this morning, but the Tiger softball team, along with the coaches Grimes, did a nice job of drying that field. The 1-2 pitch is outside for ball 2, so we're even 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The tarp was tested here at Sully Anderson Field, and it looked like a lake. Looked like Sully Anderson Lake after all of the rain that came through last night and this morning. Mingwasser holds off the 2-2 pitch, and so now the count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here in the top of the first, no score. East Central trying to change that. Apologize for the positioning of the umpire. Swing on a check swing. She did go around, though, and so Rachel Mingwasser is retired on the strikeout. So no runs on 2 hits. There were no errors. 2 runners left on base in the top of the first. We go to the bottom of the first. East Central 0, Ouachita coming to bat. Let's go ahead and set up the Ouachita starting lineup for you, as then we'll talk about today and what's at stake for these 2 teams. Let's take a look at the Ouachita starting lineup. Batting first, the shortstop, Hope Wade. Heather Brown plays center field. She'll bat second. Sloan Precure, the third baseman, bats third in the Ouachita lineup. If they reach, Jillian Jones, the catcher, batting fourth, batting cleanup for Ouachita. Callie Jordan playing right field and batting fifth for Ouachita. Madison Miller. We have her listed as designated player, and that's what she was on the lineup card we were given, but I believe she is playing first base today. We'll check that in the top of the second inning. Tally Turnbow, I believe, is the designated player, but we'll check that out as well. We have in our scorecard and the lineup card we were giving, but I believe those were flipped around. Lacey Ornelas, the second baseman, batting eighth, and Kendall Moyer batting ninth and playing left field, and they will face Taya Harris, the junior pitcher for East Central. Comes into the game with a 7-3 record, 2.23 ERA. This is her 25th appearance. She has 7 starts, 4 complete games, pitched 81.2 innings, given up 65 hits. Her walk to strikeout ratio is good for a pitcher. 59 strikeouts to only 18 walks given up by Taya Harris. She is a righty in the circle. East Central comes into today's game having won 6 of its last 8. And that's why they are tied with Ouachita now. Ouachita had a tough week last week at Southeastern Oklahoma State, who is 20-4 on the season, 30-5 overall. Southeastern is tops in the GAC, and Ouachita was close to getting a game at Southeastern, but the Savage Storm were able to get that series sweep. We say tie 8th on the screen, and when we did this graphic, they were tied for 8th, but then Arkansas Monticello completed the sweep of Oklahoma Baptist, which dropped the Bison underneath both East Central and Ouachita. So now, as we mentioned, East Central and Ouachita are tied for 6th, and Oklahoma Baptist is at 8th, and that's the magic spot that you want to stay within so you can reach the GAC softball tournament in Bentonville after the regular season ends. Hope Wade steps in. Hope, a sophomore, batting .320 on the season, has started and played in all 29 of the has started all 29 of the games she's played in. She is the team leader in hits with 33, and she's ahead in the count 2-0. The 2-0 pitch is also high for ball 3. Infield expecting a bunt or a slap, playing in all the way around. Megan Lesko at third, Josie Goodman at shortstop, Gabby Quintanilla at second, and Tatiana Bryant at first. The 3-0 pitch taken for a called strike 1 to Hope Wade, the sophomore. 5 doubles on the season, 2 triples, 6 RBI. Her only chance at an RBI would be if she were able to hit her first home run of the season here. The 3-1 pitch, fouled back to us at the screen. 3-2 the count. Hope Wade led off in a series against Southwestern Oklahoma State. Almost got that first home run of the season. She squared around a bunt on one pitch, bunted it foul, and the next pitch she turned on and took over the right field fence, and fortunately was to the right side of the fair pole in right field. The 3-2 pitch, that's a shot into left field, but unfortunately right at the left fielder for Southeastern Oklahoma State. That's Jana Reed. So Hope Wade flies out to left field for the first out of the inning. That brings up the center fielder, Heather Brown. Brown, the freshman, batting .344, the team leader in batting average among those who have significant at-bats. She has 93 at-bats, 32 hits, tied with Sloan Precure for second on the team right below Hope Wade. She also stands in from the left side. Hope Wade switch hits. She chose to go lefty the first. That gives 4 left-handed batters in this Ouachita lineup. Today, East Central batting all right-handers against Nikki Schneider. The 0-1 pitch is a changeup outside. Nice job by Heather Brown of laying off that pitch. And the count is even at 1-1. As we go, we'll give you some scores from around the conference from this weekend and how that plays into the conference standings. The 1-2 pitch is fouled out of play on top of the concession stand. As we mentioned, Arkansas Monticello hosted Oklahoma Baptist. Monticello came into this series 8-19 and got a 3-game sweep of Oklahoma Baptist. So now UAM's 11-19. OKBU came in at 14-13. Now they're 14-16. The 1-2 pitch, Brown gets just enough of it to stay alive. And the count is still 1-2. So Arkansas Monticello completed the sweep. They won game 1 yesterday. Doubleheader yesterday. Won game 1 5-4 and game 2 9-1. And they did the Oklahoma Baptist with a big 14-2 victory today in Monticello. Harris gets her sign. The changeup is a ground ball. Turns on it. Bryant fields it. Bobbles it, picks it up in foul territory, and is able to tag Heather Brown for the 3 unassisted and the second out, of the inning. Next up, Sloan Procure, lone senior in this Ouachita lineup, batting .320. She plays third base for Ouachita and will bat third. 100 at bats. She has 32 hits, tied with Brown. As 4 Tigers are right around that 30-hit mark. Hope Wade with 32, Brown and 33. First pitch swinging for Procure, and that's going to pop up to the third baseman. So the P5 is the third out of the inning. So for Ouachita, no runs on no hits. There were no errors, no runners left on base. After 1 inning of play, no score between Ouachita and East Central. We'll take a break and come back with the top of the second inning. When we return, you're watching Ouachita Tigers softball on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network, and we'll be back after this timeout.
In the number 2 position on our top 30 countdown this week, here's In Your Hands. Hey, are you trying to kill us both?
What?
Are you aware that on average there are almost 10 texting and driving deaths each day?
No, that's awful.
Yeah, it is awful, so don't do it. The text can wait.
Thanks.
Anytime. And now...
Remember, the text can wait.
It will be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for East Central as we start the top of the second. Miranda Garza, Josie Goodman, and Jana Reed. For the break, we were talking about the other action around the Great American Conference. We talked about UAM's sweep of Oklahoma Baptist a couple of times. Southern Nazarene and Southern Arkansas series was canceled due to COVID protocol. That series will not be made up. It helps both of those teams. SAU in second place at 16-5. Southern Nazarene in fourth place at 17-10. So those two teams will remain with those records. And, of course, with teams playing different numbers of games, you'll end up going with win percentage, and so those two teams are solidly sitting comfortably for the GAC tournament. Arkansas Tech is at Northwestern Oklahoma State. That one won't affect the Tigers very much. Arkansas Tech 18-7 in third place. Northwestern State in last place in the conference. Arkansas Tech won the doubleheader yesterday, playing today in Game 3. The other match, the other games that we'll keep an eye on, Harding is at Southwestern Oklahoma. And Harding defeated Southwestern Oklahoma in Game 1 today, 8-4, and that game was tied 0-0 in the third of Game 2. We'll talk about how that could affect the standings as Nikki Schneider gets Miranda Garza on a pop out to second base for the first out of the second inning. 1 pitch, 1 out, and that'll bring up Josie Goodman. Goodman, a freshman, batting from the right side, batting .220 on the season, 18 hits. First pitch swinging, and that is out of play on top of the first base dugout. The other series we're going to want to keep an eye on, Harding and Southwestern Oklahoma State. Southwestern Oklahoma State, 9-15, trying to get into that last spot. Ouachita is 2.5 games ahead of Southwestern as they will try to, actually 3 games now, with Southwestern losing the first game to Harding 8-4. They're in Game 2 right now in Weatherford, and that game is 0-0 in the fourth. We'll keep an eye on that one as we go and kind of tell you how that will affect things. But again, ECU and OBU are battling to stay in that top 8 for the single elimination GAC softball tournament in Bentonville. The 2-1 pitch is a fly ball down the left field line, but foul. Goodman turned on that inside pitch, and it was foul. You see the infield very dry. That shot you see on your screen from our top camera. The outfield is going to be wet. As we mentioned, there were about 3 inches of rain that poured, that fell on Arkadelphia overnight. The 2-2 pitch. The batter thinks she went, and now the field umpire said she did as well. So the batter thought she went. She headed to the dugout. The plate umpire appealed to the field umpire, and I think since the batter was already 5 feet from the dugout, he said, yep, she went. And so that is the second out of the inning, second strikeout from Nikki Schneider. 2 outs, and we go to the 8-hole hitter, Jana Reed, the left fielder. Fastball, Schneider trying to figure out where it was. Can't get any help from the umpire to get an explanation. Reed is standing on the chalk of the box, so there's not much room on that infield, on that inside corner. She takes one through the hole at shortstop. Not sure if that will go down as an E6 or a base hit. It was one that Hope Wade has fielded in the past. I'll have to check that one out and see how they rule that, but regardless, runners on. Jana Reed is at first base with 2 outs, and Charlie Avery, the center fielder. Avery comes into the game batting .244, and another freshman in this lineup. Won't talk about it all game, but just keep in mind 7 of the 9 batters in the ECU lineup today are freshmen. Washita has a couple as well, but not the 7 that ECU has. Avery fouls the first pitch she sees from Schneider back to the screen, and Schneider's ahead in the count 0-1. The 0-1 pitch, runner goes, the throw down to Rose. Jillian Jones threw the ball to the first base side of the second base bag. Hope Wade was covering from her shortstop position, caught the ball and tagged Reed in the helmet for the caught stealing 2-6 for the 3rd out of the inning. So for East Central in the second, no runs on no hits. I believe they did rule that 1 error. No runners left on base. Charlie Avery will start things off in the top of the 3rd. 0-0 your score. Wichita coming to bat. Let's kind of finish this up about the weather. Last night we talked about the rain, but the Tiger softball team got out here about 9 o'clock this morning to dump the water off the tarp, and I saw a picture of the tarp, and there were several inches of water in that tarp, and as they did last time, rather than dumping that tarp in the traditional way out in left field, if that had happened, there's no way this game would have been played, because left field would have been a big lake as well. If you're familiar with Sully Anderson Field, the draining goes down the left field line and out into a ditch across the street and into the drainage system onto the football practice field. And so rather than pumping the water out, they ended up forming a pool, so to speak, pushing the water through the culvert that the tarp is wrapped on, and then funneling it out of the fence down into the drain. And a process that took about 3 hours, and then prepping the infield. The infield is solid, no holes in the tarp. There was a wet spot around behind where the first baseman would play, and one near second base, but that has dried out nicely. The outfield is a little bit moist, that has dried out nicely. No standing water. The only standing water is in front of the visitors' dugout and around the backstop. The field here at Sully Anderson Field, as you can tell from our camera shot, and you can kind of see the water just to the left of the score bug on your screen right now, but the field is at the bottom of a hill, and so all the water from the hill drains down, and so for as much rain as we got last night in Arkadelphia, the field is in great shape, and that's because of the hard work of the Tigers and the coaches Grimes to be able to play. He said, we're going to play. He said, it's going to be a little wet in the outfield, but we're ready to roll, and we got to go at 5 o'clock. This game was supposed to be, the series was supposed to start yesterday and have a doubleheader today, but because of that forecasted rain, they playing one game this evening to give the field more drying time, and a doubleheader tomorrow beginning at noon. ECU made the drive over from Ada, Oklahoma today. And this morning left Ada, made the drive over for tonight's first game. Jillian Jones steps in against Taya Harris. Jones batting .323 on the season. The count is 1-1. Change up on the 1-1 pitch. Jones comes around on it and sends that one in foul territory over the concession stand and bathroom area. And the count is 1-2. Other action this weekend, we mentioned Harding at Southwestern Oklahoma. Oklahoma Baptist at UAM as the 1-2 pitch just misses for ball 2. Across the street from us here at Sully Anderson Field, behind us I guess, a little bit west of us, Southeastern Oklahoma State playing at D. White Field against the Henderson State Reddies. Southeastern in first place, Henderson trying to scrap along and get up into that 8th spot. The 2-2 pitch to Jones, a shot down the left field line, but just foul, and Jones was about a Subway sandwich to the left of having extra bases, as that ball would have gone, or did go all the way to the fence and would have been extra bases. They'll throw it back in play. Left field line is going to be the softest of the areas on the field, is that where the water was drained. Not really affecting play, however. We had a windy day here in Arkadelphia. Not a ton of sun, but the wind and the sun that did come out has helped the drying conditions. The 2-2 pitch to Jones, a check swing, and the home plate umpire runner up that time. He didn't appeal down to the field umpire for that call. He rung Jones up himself on a nice changeup from Taya Harris. It was low, and Jones couldn't check up. Callie Jordan steps in, the right fielder. Steps in from the left side. And that fastball was more off the plate than the pitch Nikki Schneider asked about, but a lot of times it's the batter. If it's a left-handed batter, you can get off the plate. If it's that pitch is not going to be called a strike from a right-handed batter because it's close to kneecaps. The 0-1 pitch is high, and Jordan can't check her swing in time and fouls that one back to the screen. And the count is 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning. Ouachita looking for its first base runner. The 0-2 pitch. Jordan does hold off of that changeup, and the count is 1-2. As we mentioned, Harris in the circle for ECU, 7-3 on the season with a 2.23 ERA. Her strikeout to walk ratio is fantastic, 59-18. Now it's 60-18 after that strikeout of Jones. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. That second strikeout in a row for Harris. And that brings up the first baseman, Madison Miller. Miller, the junior from Nashville, Arkansas, also sees work in the circle for Ouachita, having started 10 games at pitcher, but she gets the start at first base today for the Tigers. Harris looks to the dugout to get her sign. Miller doesn't like how long that takes, so she steps out. Ouachita in the all-black uniforms, ECU in the all-anthracite, charcoal, dark gray uniforms. And that is one of the only places that there will be field issues. A catcher going to the first base side to try to catch a pop-up is going to have to be careful. And that's only about 20 feet to the right of the catcher's of home plate, the place where the catcher is. So it'll be interesting to see if that comes into play. The 0-1 pitch to Miller. Pop-up, that's going to stay fair, but the spin is going to have it raw foul. And the count is 0-2. Harris jammed Miller on that one. She popped that one up about 15 feet in front of the plate down the third baseline, and the spin, although it landed a foot fair, the spin had it roll foul, and the count is 0-2 to Madison Miller. Batting .278 on the season. 22 hits, 2 of those doubles, 1 triple, 3 home runs, 10 RBI on the season for Madison Miller. The 0-2 pitch fouls back to the screen. Miller stays alive. The 0-2 pitch fouled out of play again. Miller stays ahead across the street. Ooh, in the bottom of the 7th, Southeastern Oklahoma State 2, Henderson State 1. Bottom of the 7th with 1 on and nobody out. It would be a big win for Henderson State if the Lady Reddies are able to come back. Miller fouls off the 0-2 pitch, and that's going to get into the Ouachita dugout, or just over the dugout. And so Miller fouls off her 3rd straight pitch. Still alive. 0-2. Bottom of the 2nd, 2 outs, 0-2 count to the Ouachita first baseman Madison Miller. Miller again calls time as Harris looks over and gets her signs not from the catcher but from the pitching coach, who sits on the bucket and flashes out the numbers from her hand. The 0-2 pitch, a high fly ball to left field, and that's not going to carry enough as Reed camps out under it and retires Madison Miller on the F7. So in the 2nd inning for Ouachita, no runs on no hits, no errors, no runners left on base. After 2, no score between East Central and Ouachita. We'll be back to Sully Anderson Field after this timeout on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.
There's a place to share gossip about the office party fun, and a place to share the story you tell everyone. There's a place to share a laugh about when things went wrong, and a place to share the video of you dancing to your song. There's a place to share spare change, lunch, and your time. But we could all be better at sharing how we're feeling inside. 76% of employees have struggled with at least one issue that affected their mental health. When you share, you're not alone.
We go to the top of the 3rd inning. It'll be 9-1-2 for East Central. Charlie Avery will return to the box to lead things off in the top of the 3rd. She was at the plate when Jana Reed was thrown out, caught stealing by Jillian Jones to end the 2nd inning. And so now Avery comes back up to the plate. Avery batting .244 on the season. She bats in the 9-hole. She is the center fielder for ECU. We mentioned the Southeastern Henderson game before the break, and that one ended during the break. Southeastern Oklahoma State holds on to a 2-1 victory over the Lady Reddies of Henderson State across the street at D. White Field. Those teams will play again, a doubleheader tomorrow. One game at noon, another game at 2 o'clock.
Number 6, Charlie Avery.
Start the top of the 3rd with Avery. Squares around a bunt, bunts it too high in the air, and Nikki Schneider is able to come out of the circle and make the catch for the first out of the 2nd inning. So again, 1 pitch, 1 out. In the top of the 2nd, it was a pop-up to second baseman from Garza, and this time it's a bunt pop-up. First pitch swinging as we go back to the top of the order to Gabby Quintanilla. First pitch swinging again, and she fouls it down the 3rd baseline for strike 1. Quintanilla, the leadoff hitter for ECU, came into the game batting .346. She popped out to Lacey Ornelas at second base. The 0-1 pitch, a pop-up in the infield again. Any of the 5 players could get that one for Ouachita. Madison Miller is the one who ends up calling the rest of her teammates off, and we'll call that a P3 for the 2nd out of the inning. Pop-up to the first baseman. And so now 3 pitches and 2 outs for Nikki Schneider here in this top of the 3rd. Megan Lesko flew out to left field in the 1st inning, and that was just a nasty pitch from Nikki Schneider. Caught Lesko off guard, was not expecting. It looked like the fastball out of the hand and just sat there and then fell into the zone. The 0-1 pitch just misses high and outside. If you're a pitcher and you don't get the inside part of the plate, you sure want that outside part of the plate. Right now, neither pitcher getting those unless it's a left-handed batter, and you might be able to get it. The 1-1 pitch is taken for strike two. Lesko slightly open stance from the right-handed side of the plate. Batting in the stands in the front of the box now and crowds that chalk as she is about a foot closer to the plate in this pitch than she was. She'll shorten up and foul that one right over us, and that was close to popping somebody in the face. It landed just to the right of us on the metal bleacher, and rather than bouncing up, it bounced straight back and almost caught, I believe that might be Megan Lesko's mother videoing this at bat, and she almost got something that was going to go viral. Lesko fouls that one off again, stays ahead in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the third, no score. Nikki Schneider got Charlie Avery out on a pop-up bunt for the first out. Then a pop-up to the middle of the infield from Gabby Quintanilla that was fielded by Madison Miller. Lesko squares around, she'll pull it back. The 1-2 pitch, fouls back to the screen again. 3 straight foul balls here from Lesko. We saw Madison Miller from Ouachita do the same thing in the bottom of the second before she flew out to left field. Lesko had an open stance for the first 2 pitches of the at-bat in the middle of the box, and after the count went to 0-2, she went up in the box, shortened the approach, tried to stay alive, and she has with 3 straight pitches. The 1-2 pitch coming from Schneider. Ground ball to Ornelas from her seat, can't make the play through as she was going to the ground, and the throw was a little bit low for Madison Miller. And so Lesko reaches on the E4. And Tatiana Bryant comes to the plate. She had a base hit up the middle. That was a tremendous at-bat from Megan Lesko. 0-2, and then she put something in play, and that's why you put it in play. You never know what's going to happen. Shortened her swing. Put good contact on the ball, and it was a hot shot to Ornelas at second base. She fielded it and then had to throw as she was falling down. The 1-0 pitch to Bryant is upstairs for ball 2. So now for the second time around in the order, the first 2, just like in the first inning, the first 2 batters were retired, and then the next 2 batters were able to get a runner in scoring position. Bryant trying to do the same here, and that's a shot right to the glove of Hope Brown. She dives to her left and makes the catch of a hot shot from Tatiana Bryant. L6 with an exclamation point for that one, and that's the 3rd out of the inning for Ouachita's Nikki Schneider. So in the inning for East Central, no runs on no hits. There was 1 error and 1 runner left on base. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning here at Sully Anderson Field. No score. Ouachita coming to bat in the bottom of the 3rd, and they will have the 7, 8, 9 hitters, Tally Turnbow, Lacey Ornelas, and Kendall Moyer. When we return from Sully Anderson Field, you're watching the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.
Every year, 4.5 million young adults between the ages of 18 and 24 visit the ER.
It's every parent's nightmare.
Umergency gives you all the tools you need to quickly and effectively manage your family's emergency. Umergency provides instant access to vital resources, customized to your student's campus and local community, digital consent form, and built-in urgent alert button. Umergency gives you peace of mind when you need it most. Download your Umergency app now.
Sully Anderson Field on the campus of Ouachita Baptist University as the cloud cover continues to grace us with its presence. The sun playing peekaboo, and we're fine with cloud cover as long as it doesn't drop any rain out of those dark clouds. Radar not showing, should be good to go. No percentage of rain chance, but we'll hope that forecast stays true. Tally Turnbow leads things off. She's a designated player in the Ouachita lineup. She'll lead things off, trying to be Ouachita's first base runner. First pitch swinging, and that is just foul. A Subway sandwich reference to the 6 inches foul on the first inning doesn't work there. It was about 1.5 feet. I know some people who could eat 3 6-inch sandwiches though, but we'll lay off of that one. Me being one of those. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss at a high fastball. Tally Turnbow in the hole, 0-2. Turnbow batting this is only her 11th game of the season, has 32 at-bats, 5 hits in those. She'll try to be Ouachita's first base runner, but she's in the hole, 0-2. Ground ball to shortstop, played on the hop, a nice strong throw over to first base from Josie Goodman. Retires Tally Turnbow on the 6-3 put out for out number 1.
Number 9, Lacey Ornelas.
Lacey Ornelas, the second baseman, comes to the plate looking for her first hit of the season. Only played in 4 games, getting 3 starts. This is her 4th start of the season, only has 9 at-bats on the season. And she'll try now to be the first base runner for Ouachita. Takes the first pitch she sees from Taya Harris, and it's a strike. Harris has been perfect to this point, 3 up, 3 down in the first and the second, and she retired Tally Turnbow with the first out of the 3rd inning. Swing and a miss, and Ornelas is in the hole, 0-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3 on a high fastball. Ornelas is retired. That is the 3rd strikeout of the afternoon for Taya Harris, increasing her strikeout count to 62 on the season. Kendall Moyer, the left fielder, batting 9th in the Ouachita lineup. Moyer trying to get to that 200 mark. Started in 26 games coming into today's game. First pitch she sees, just misses. Moyer, a junior from Lampasas, Texas. Listed as batting right, throwing right, but she stands in from the left side with trying to get a slap hit. The second pitch is called a strike. Must have gotten closer to that outside part of the plate than the first one did. So the count is even at 1-1 to Ouachita left fielder Kendall Moyer. Taya Harris cruising through 2 2/3. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Went to that same spot that she just got the strike call. And that's a tough pitch to hit, or a tough pitch to do anything with. If they're going to give you that one as a pitcher, you're going to live out there, and that's what she has done the last 2 pitches. See if she goes back. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. 4 strikeouts through 3 innings for Taya Harris. No runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left on base. After 3, no score. We'll be back at the top of the 4th. After this timeout, you're watching Ouachita Tigers softball on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.
It's an ordinary day. Stephanie's driving home from school, like she does every day. Since she's almost home, she takes a quick glance at her phone, like she does every day. She arrives safely, like she does every day. It's another ordinary day. But then, something out of the ordinary happens. Distracted driving kills.
Nikki Schneider gave up 2 hits in the first inning, stranded those 2 runners as got out of a jam with a strikeout of Rochelle Minwasser. Has not given up a hit, not since that first inning, and she will face the 4, 5, 6 hitters in the ECU lineup: Kaylee Ham, Minwasser, and Miranda Garza. Number 0-0 as we start the top of the 4th inning. here from Sully Anderson Field. First pitch swinging is a foul ball out of play for strike one. East Central came into today's game batting .273 as a team. Ouachita batting .285, middle of the pack in the conference. Ouachita with a team ERA of 2.99, trailed by only just ahead of East Central on the 3.41 team ERA. Nikki Schneider ahead in the count, 0-2 after the swing and the miss from Kaylee Ham, the right fielder, singled to center in the first inning and then was stranded. The 0-2 pitch is fouled off the end of the bat. The 0-2 pitch. The swing and the miss for strike three, and then Jillian Jones trying to throw it down to Miller at first base. Escaped her a little bit high on that throw. Regardless, it is the strikeout for the first out of the inning. That is the third strikeout of East Central batters from Nikki Schneider, or by Nikki Schneider today. Schneider came into the game with 32 strikeouts in 79 innings, and she is adding to that total. And now she faces Rochelle Mingwasser. Was the first strikeout of the game in the first inning. One out, nobody on, top of the fourth, no score. High fly ball to left field, and that's going to be plenty playable for Kendall Moyer. So Mingwasser now 0 for 2 on the fly out to left field for the second out of the inning, and Miranda Garza. Garza swung at the first pitch she saw in the second inning and popped up to Ornelas at second base, so she's only seen one pitch from Nikki Schneider. Lays off of the first pitch that she sees in this AB, and it's taken for ball one. The 1-0 pitch is taken for a called strike one. Take a look at the conference leaders on for ERA, a meaning of 1 inning pitch per team per game. Swing and a miss from Garza. Now 1-2 the count. Nikki Schneider is 7th in the conference with a 2.13 ERA. Taya Harris from ECU 8th in the conference. So the 7th and 8th ranked pitchers in this conference. A swing and a miss on strike three is one in the dirt. Garza didn't realize that Jones didn't field it cleanly. Jones had the easy throw down to Miller for the strikeout, 2-3 put out. So 3 up, 3 down go the Tigers of East Central. No runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left on base. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning. No score. The Ouachita Tigers will try to break that for Ouachita. It will be the 1-2-3 hitters as Ouachita is trying to get a runner on base for the first time against Taya Harris. We'll see if they can do it when we return after this timeout. You're watching Ouachita Tigers softball on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network. You look at the conference leaders for
Number 2, Hope.
team hits in a game. The team game highs is 18. That came from Ouachita versus Oklahoma Baptist on February 27th. That's the most hits any GAC team has had this season in a game. The Tigers in a victory over Oklahoma Baptist. They are still looking for their first today as we go back to the top of the order. And Hope Wade flew out to left field. Oh, that's a tough strike call to be called. Goodness. That's a left-handed batter, cannot do anything with that. Wade is in the hole, 0-1, as Harris thought she might go, but she goes the exact opposite, goes high and inside, and Wade fouls it over the screen for strike 2. If I am Taya Harris on a left-handed batter, I'm going right back to that spot. If I'm the catcher, I'm going to set up about 3 inches outside that plate and get the call. The 0-2 pitch on its way. They do go there, and Hope Wade fouls it off. That one might have been a little bit more towards the middle of the plate. Nice job by Wade of staying alive. Wade came into the game batting .320 on the season, 33 hits, leads the team. As Harris looks to the dugout and gets the sign. Nice layoff of that one, the change up high. Wade laid off, and the count is now 1-2 to Ouachita's leadoff batter, Hope Wade. 9 batters, 9 outs for Taya Harris. High fly ball to left field, and that's probably going to get down, could be extra bases. It is going to be extra bases. It is a leadoff double to left center field for Hope Wade to start things off in the bottom of the second. Great piece of hitting by Wade. She now has 6 doubles on the season, tying for the team lead with Procure and Julian Jones. So just like that, the Tigers go from not having any base runners to having a runner in scoring position. Wade with the speed was looking double right out of the box, and that ball was right in the alley, right at the 205 sign, evenly between the center fielder and left fielder. So another batter from the left side, Heather Brown. Squares around a bunt and buttons that one foul. And Wade will have to go back to second. Brown back to the box with an 0-1 count. Tatiana Bryant at first base plays in front of the bag, as does the third baseman Lesko. Shortstop shading towards third to cover, see if Brown squares around again. She does. Shortstop covers third base. Center fielder ran in to cover second. Second baseman went over to cover first to allow the corner infielders to crash and field the bunt. But Brown laid off of that high inside fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. The 1-1 pitch bunted to third base. Lesko up with it and across the diamond for the out. Brown retired on the sac bunt 5-4 put out for the first out of the inning. She does advance Hope Wade to third. Now she is 60 feet away from being the first run of the game, and trying to make that happen will be Sloan Precure, the senior. Batting .320, has 11 RBI on the season, and she would love to make it 12 right here as the sun peeks out from behind the clouds right in the face of those on the right side of the field. Called strike 1. You could tell Procure didn't really agree as it was under her elbows. Time is called as Harris gets her sign from the dugout. The number system. See the wristband on the left arm of Harris. The 0-1 pitch squares around to bunt. Bunts 2, and they're going to try to get Wade in a pickle. And are they going to be able? They are going to make the tag on the back of Hope Wade. And she made a base running error on that one, and that will be the second out of the inning. Procure did get the bunt down. Wade broke to the plate before the pitcher made her throw to first base, and she was caught in a pickle and got called out. I believe that's going to be the 1-2-5-2 put out, I believe, if my memory serves me correctly. Sloan Procure did go to second during the rundown, so she's in scoring position again for Jillian Jones. Jillian Jones batting .323, the team leader in RBI with 21, takes the first pitch she sees from Harris for strike one. 6 doubles, the team leader in extra base hits with 6 doubles and a triple, has 5 home runs on the season, also the team leader. Harris gets her signs, looks down at the wristband. The 0-1 pitch, change up, a line drive right to the shortstop, and Jones is retired on the L6. So a promising inning for the Tigers comes to an end with no damage done. For Ouachita, no runs on 1 hit. That was a double from Hope Wade. There were no errors for East Central. A mental error for the Tigers. 1 runner left on base. At the end of 4, no score. We go to the top of the 5th. As the Clouds come back over Sully Anderson Field, we'll be back. Nikki Schneider back to the circle for her 5th inning of work. 0-0. East Central coming up when we return on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours. Two for East Central. For Ouachita, 0-1-0. Those are the line scores. The only one that really matters is that first one. And the score is 0-0. We start the top of the 5th inning. Josie Goodman, Jana Reed, Charlie Avery. It's the 7, 8, 9 hitters for East Central University. Both of these teams, again, tied 13 and 14 in the GAC, tied for 6th place. So a big series here for both of these teams. First pitch from Snyder is called a strike. The look on Snyder was glad she got that one, but can't really figure out the zone and what's going to be a strike and what's not. The 0-1 pitch is a fastball high as Goodman steps up in the box. And the count is 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Catches the outside part of the plate for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. No outs here in the top of the 5th inning. Goodman struck out in the 2nd inning. A high fly ball to left center field, just about 2 feet in front of the wall. That is caught by Kendall Moyer, so a loud first out of the inning from Josie Goodman. Off the bat, you thought that might have a chance. Just the wind is blowing from left field to right field now, in from the west. May have carried that one more to center field than out. A high shot, the first pitch swinging. Line drive into center field, caught by Heather Brown. So F7 and an F8 for the second out of the inning. On the first pitch, Jana Reed sees. That brings up Charlie Avery. Avery popped out on a bunt attempt, popped out to Schneider in the circle, just in front of the circle actually. Pitch was a ball that the umpire signaled dead ball, so I'm not sure if he just called time because it
rolled over to the ECU dugout or what, but regardless, one ball, well, they got a strike on the board, so I'm not sure. I think it's 2-0. Yep, now. The board, Coach Grimes is going to come out and talk to Nikki Schneider, saw something she didn't like, pitching coach. And she's going to come talk to Nikki Schneider in the circle real quick. The board has 1-1. And they may have said that was a foul ball off of the knob or the bat of Avery on that first pitch. But until we see the umpire, we'll go with what the scoreboard says, 1-1, until the umpire signals. Yep, one ball, one strike. That was a foul ball from Avery. And blocked by the umpire and the catcher, and so I did not see that first pitch. You're probably sitting at home going, well, dummy, it hit the bat. Yeah, it's foul. Whew, that's a tough one to go against Schneider. The 1-1 pitch is just inside. That's a tough one. Schneider really wanted that one. And not getting much of an explanation of where it missed a lot of times. The 2-1 pitch also misses. Schneider, the freshman from Glen Rose, Arkansas, just up the road. Now having to battle back from a 3-1 count. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. The 3-1 pitch is called a strike. And that got a round of applause from the crowd behind me, and they can't figure out where it is either. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Schneider thought she had walked her. The batter thought she had walked. The 3-2 pitch fouled back to the screen, still full count. Charlie Avery thought that was inside, thought it was ball 4. I don't think she was alone. But only one person that matters. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The 3-2 pitch, ground ball to Wade at short. Fields it, up with it, over. The throw is good. Madison Miller makes the catch. And Charlie Avery is retired on the 6-3 put out for the 3rd out of the inning. 3 up, 3 down goes East Central. No runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left on base. To the bottom of the 5th, no score. And for Ouachita, it will be the 5, 6, 7 hitters when we return. Callie Jordan, Madison Miller, Tally Turnbow, Taya Harris. Back out for her 5th inning of work when we return to Sully Anderson Field. You're watching Ouachita Tiger Softball on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.
As a student athlete in college, I first got involved with the NCAA at the national level. It was through the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, SAC, gave me an opportunity to advocate on behalf of all student athletes, to affect change and to make an impact. The NCAA is giving the student athlete a platform to voice their concerns and to be able to advocate for what's going to affect their well-being. The policies that are being put in place are speaking towards academics, they're speaking towards well-being, they're speaking towards fairness, creating a culture so that the student athletes have the best experiences possible.
Go to the bottom of the 5th inning, no score. 1 hit so far for Ouachita. That was a leadoff double from Hope Wade. She reached 3rd base and then was caught in a rundown on a bunt from Sloan Precure. That's the closest Ouachita has gotten to scratching a run across. ECU has not gotten a runner to 3rd base yet. They had runners on 1st and 2nd in the 1st inning. Nikki Schneider got out of that jam and nothing since. Callie Jordan, the right fielder, struck out in the 2nd inning. She's 0 for 1. Batting .322 on the season. Jordan from Crystal Beach, Texas, the junior. Stands in from the left side. The 1-0 pitch is fouled over the screen. 1-1. .325 is the pitch call. Swing and a miss on a high fastball from Taya Harris. See more and more teams in softball and baseball going to the wristband number system, calling out numbers, whether it's offensively or defensively. The 1-2 pitch, foul ball over the dugout, the top of the concession stand, and Callie Jordan stays alive. The 1-2 pitch, foul ball just over the net, and thankfully the lady in the pink chair got up, or she would have been wearing that one. You see the pink chair empty in your picture. She saw it coming right after her. Nice job of getting up and dodging that one. If you got a glove, you can stay there and make it, but if you don't, get out of the way. The 1-2 pitch, out of the zone for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the leadoff batter here in the 5th inning, Callie Jordan. She bats 5th in the Ouachita lineup. Madison Miller in the on-deck circle. Tally Turnbow in the hole. The 2-2 pitch, fouled out of play again. Several batters today have had 2-strike pitches, 2-strike counts, and been able to foul balls off and stay alive to another pitch. Jordan just did it again. And she stands in with a 2-2 count. The 2-2 pitch, fastball high, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Good AB from Callie Jordan. Jordan has walked 6 times this season. She'd love to either get a base hit or make it her 7th walk of the season to lead off here. The 3-2 pitch, fouled out of play. We'll do it again. Just past 6 o'clock local time here at Sully Anderson Field on the campus of Ouachita Baptist University. Game 1 of this 3-game GAC set between teams that are tied in the same. The 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 3. And that is the 5th strikeout of the day by Taya Harris. Both these teams, 13 and 14 in the GAC, trying the winner of the series will be above 500 and solidify, not really clinch, but go a long way to clinching a spot in the GAC tournament. First pitch for Madison Miller is a line drive into left field. Fly ball, line drive, whichever it was, it's an out. And that's the 2nd out of the inning. So Madison Miller flied out to left field both times. Made contact both times, just couldn't find the ground. Tally Turnbow comes up. She grounded out to shortstop in the 3rd inning, leading things off, and now she bats with nobody on and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Got a piece of that one, just not enough to do anything with it. And a foul tip into the glove of Rochelle Mingwasser, the catcher for East Central. Shot into right field, and it takes a hit off of the lip. And that is going to be a base hit for Tally Turnbow, a single to right field. It's the 2nd hit of the evening for Ouachita. The right fielder for East Central, Kaylee Ham, charged that one, and it was her momentum was taking her towards the bag. So it's one of those that you see in softball every once in a while where if it's hit out to right field hard enough, there might be an outside shot at a play at first base. But that line drive hit the lip of the infield and bounced to the left just enough for Ham to have to stop her momentum and not be able to make that play. And so that is a 2-out single from Tally Turnbow. Lacey Ornelas comes up swinging, and her first pitch she sees, fouls it off. Count is 0-1 to the Ouachita second baseman batting in the 8 hole for the Tigers and head coach Derek Grimes. The 0-1 pitch fouled out of play as well. Just in front of a couple of unsuspecting ready softball players who have made their way across the street to catch this one. And a really pretty puppy dog. There you see in the screen. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 3 on Ornelas. That is the 6th strikeout of the day. 2 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 5th for ECU pitcher Taya Harris. For Ouachita, no runs on 1 hit. There were no East Central errors. 1 runner left on base. After 5, no score to the top of the 6th. When we return to Sully Anderson Field, you're watching Ouachita Tiger softball on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.
It's an ordinary day. Stephanie's driving home from school, like she does every day. Since she's almost home, she takes a quick glance at her phone, like she does every day. She arrives safely, like she does every day. It's another ordinary day. But then, something out of the ordinary happens. Distracted driving kills.
The Ouachita baseball team is in Ada, Oklahoma, facing the East Central Tigers. They got that series going today with a doubleheader. They'll have 1 game tomorrow. Ouachita won the first game 2-0. And they were set to start the 2nd game at 5 o'clock, and East Central leads that one 2-0. East Central scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 1st, and they lead Ouachita in game 2 in baseball in Ada, Oklahoma. Those 2 teams will play game 3 tomorrow in Ada. Ouachita will try to come back from their deficit to win the series. East Central trying to keep the 2-0 lead to force a rubber match. Nikki Schneider comes back to the circle. For the top of the 6th, she faces Gabby Quintanilla. Quintanilla batting .346 on the season. She's 0 for 2. She had a pop out to second base in the 1st inning, pop out to first base in the 3rd inning. And she's behind in the count 0-1, now level at 1-1 after the fastball is high for ball 1. The 1-1 pitch coming from Schneider. Change up. Nice job by Quintanilla of holding off of that one. And it was out of the zone for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike to the leadoff batter, Gabby Quintanilla. High fly ball into right center field. Jordan comes up, actually dead right field. Callie Jordan makes the catch, and Gabby Quintanilla is retired for the 3rd time today, this time on the fly out to right field for the 1st out of the inning. That brings up Megan Lesko. Lesko, the leading hitter for East Central, batting .413. She is among the conference leaders in those categories. The only one from either of these 2 teams who makes the top 10 in the batting average category, and that is a nice change-up curve. That was a very nice pitch. I think Lesko gave up on that one as it looked like it might hit her, and then it came into the zone for strike 1. So no balls, 1 strike to Lesko, the 3rd baseman for East Central. The 0-1 pitch out of the zone for ball 1. Lesko batting .413. She's a freshman. 45 hits and 109 at bats. She has 12 doubles, and she's also their team leader in home runs with 6. No score here in the top of the 6th inning. The 1-1 pitch, Lesko lays off, ball 2. Nikki Schneider in the circle for Ouachita. 11 games started and all 11 complete games. 2.13 ERA. The 2-1 pitch, a ground ball to Wade at short, fields it, throw over to Miller at first in time. And Lesko is retired on the 6-3 put out for the 2nd out of the inning. Lesko 0 for 2 and reached on an error. Tatiana Bryant comes to the plate now. She is 1 for 2, had the first hit of the game in the top of the 1st. And then into the third inning with a line drive to Hope Wade at shortstop. Wade ranged a few steps to her left. On a changeup, Schneider gets her as the changeup gets just too much inside. It jams her a little bit, and she flies out on the first pitch she sees from Nikki Schneider. So Tatiana Bryant retired on the F7 for the third out of the inning. So another 3 up, 3 down inning for Nikki Schneider. That is her third straight 3 up, 3 down inning. No runs on no hits, no errors, no runners left on base. To the bottom of the 6th inning, no score. Tigers trying to change that. It'll be the 9-1-2 hitters for Ouachita when we come for the bottom of the 6th. You're watching Ouachita Tiger softball from Sully Anderson Field on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.
I've heard people say Ouachita.
Ouachita.
Ouachita. Is it pronounced Ouachita?
Searching for Ouachita Baptist University.
Back in Texas, everybody pronounces it Wichita, but really, it's Ouachita.
Ouachita.
Ouachita. How would you pronounce it?
Ouachita.
Ouachita.
It's Ouachita Baptist University. Get it right.
It's Ouachita, people. It's Ouachita.
Ouachita.
As Quantel says, it's Ouachita, people. Our thanks to the students of the Ouachita Sports Digital Network who are bringing this to you today. In the truck, Jamari Bailey running the controls and Katie Hatchett running graphics. On our cameras today, Wyatt Ashlock and James Jolly. We've got a lot of good students in the Ouachita Sports Digital Network, and they are almost ready. 7 days from now, they will be wrapping up a stretch and when we've had about 65 broadcasts since the middle of January. And it's been an ambitious schedule. It's a schedule that our students have done a tremendous job of sticking with and bringing you these games throughout the spring of 2021. Some of those games are close, some of them are not. This is one of the ones that is close, 0-0. We start at the bottom of the 6th inning. Taya Harris on for her 6th inning of work. She and Nikki Schneider both pitching effectively today. Kendall Moyer leads things off for Ouachita. The first pitch was on. The 1-0 pitch is fouled out of play over the third base dugout, and the count is even at 1-2. Used to Branch's voice here, one of our juniors in the Ouachita Sports Digital Network. He'll be back tomorrow to bring you the doubleheader, which will begin from here at Sully Anderson Field at noon. The 1-1 pitch from Moyer swung on a miss for strike 2. 6 strikeouts for Taya Harris, 2 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, and 2 in the 5th. She's trying to make it number 7. Kendall Moyer trying to lead things off, stay alive. The 1-2 pitch misses. I mean, they appeal to the first base umpire for a left-handed hitter. There's no way he's going to ring her up on that. And so the count is even at 2-2. I think the catcher was probably asking the home plate umpire, said, did she go? So he asked his partner, who's not in the best spot to be able to make that call. The 2-2 pitch just misses, and Kendall Moyer has battled back from being in the hole 1-2 to running the count full. Big spot here in the bottom of the 6th. If Ouachita can get something going, you go back to the top of the order for Hope Wade and Heather Brown. Try to get a runner in scoring position, manufacture a run, and take a lead going into the 7th. The 3-2 pitch is fouled out of play. That ball will probably, it's going to wind up in the ditch I was talking about at the top of the broadcast, as where the water was pushed out this morning. If you joined us late and missed that explanation, we had probably 3 or 4 inches of rain last night here in Arkadelphia. The field is in great shape considering what we had last night. Great job by the Tigers and Coach Grimes. Kendall Moyer, talk about great job. She gets a leadoff walk after being down in the count 1-2. That is the first walk of the game given up by Taya Harris. Harris has 59 strikeouts coming into today's game. Take that up to 65. She only had 18 walks coming into today's game, and that is her first. Hope Wade squares around a bunt, can't get it down, and it was foul. trying to get Kendall Moyer in scoring position. Third base, Lesko was crashing with the runner on first. First baseman Tatiana Bryant playing about 4 steps in front of the bag as well. Swing and a miss from Wade. And Harris is ahead in the count, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Runner on first is Kendall Moyer, who reached on a leadoff walk on a tremendous at-bat. The 0-2 pitch, squares around a bunt, she bunts it foul. So Hope Wade goes down, technically via strikeout, I believe. So regardless, it's the first out of the inning. And Heather Brown comes to the plate. Grounded out to Bryant at first base in the first inning, had a sacrifice bunt in the 4th inning. And she bats from the left side with 1 out and a runner on first base. You'd love to see her turn on one and put one in the corner down by the 190 sign. First pitch is taken for a called strike 1. Center fielder is playing her straight up. Right field playing straight up, but a little bit, probably shallow to medium depth. She can turn on one, put it to the 205 sign, and be all right too. A ground ball to second base. Got the tag, not going to be able to make the double play though. So Moyer is retired on the 4 and assisted for the second out of the inning. Brown reaches on the fielder's choice. Washita couldn't get him over, and now you got 2 outs. And Sloan Precure popped out to third base in the first and reached on a fielder's choice bunt in the 4th when Hope Wade was caught in a rundown between third and home. That's really been the only scoring threat for either team today through 5.5 innings. Precure, big swing and a miss, kind of stepped out on that one and took a big cut, came up empty. Precure, 11 RBI on the season, 30 was timely right here for sure. Really take anything that would advance Heather Brown at first. The 0-1 pitch is outside. Is called strike 2. I don't have a color analyst, but if I did, you could hear what they would be saying behind. I don't think the Tiger fans wearing purple agreed with that one. The 0-2 pitch, she's got to protect now. Foul ball out of play. Precure stays alive. Well, she's right. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Washita with a runner on first base at a premium for both teams as East Central going to come out to the circle and talk to Taya Harris. Big game. These 2 teams tied at 13 and 14. Tied after the first 27 games of the conference season, and you can find the match today in game 1 at least. They had action around the conference. We talked about Arkansas Tech has got a doubleheader sweep of Northwestern Oklahoma State. Monticello completed the 3-game sweep as they won a doubleheader over Oklahoma Baptist yesterday. 1 game 3 today. Harding defeated Southwestern Oklahoma State in game 1, and at the last check, Harding was down in that one. Now Harding is up 8-2, so that would put Southwestern Oklahoma State at 9 and 17, and kind of give a little bit more separation between one less team for East Central and Washita to compete against for that 8th spot. Sloan Precure, they are back to action. She stays alive in the count, fouling that one off 0-2 as well. So Harding in the Weatherford, Oklahoma against Southwestern. Oklahoma State, the conference leader, held on for a 2-1 win at Henderson. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss on the pitch. And Procure struck out for the first time today. That's the third out of the inning. The 7th strikeout for Taya Harris. We go to the top of the 7th as Ouachita had no runs on no hits. There were no errors, and there was one runner left on base. After 6, no score. Nikki to send Ouachita to the bottom of the 7th, still with no score. She'll face the 4, 5, 6 hitters for East Central when we return. You're watching on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network, and we'll be back after this timeout.
First, they said cigarettes were safe. We know how that turned out. Now, they say they didn't market e-cigarettes to teens? Fact, more than 1 in 4 high school students are vaping, and 80% say their first e-cigarette was flavored. Vaping is harmful to developing brains. The reason we think vaping is safe? Marketing. Same lies, different day. Tell Big Vape to quit lying.
We go to the top of the 7th in game 1 of this 3-game set between Ouachita and East Central. No score. The two schools are also playing baseball against each other in Ada, Oklahoma in the top of the 5th inning. Ouachita was trailing 2-0. Now it's 2-1 with runners on first and third for the Ouachita Tigers. Can't just say the Tigers. Both these teams are Tigers. So in the baseball game, it looks like Tyler Reebok is at the plate trying to tie the game as Ouachita trails East Central 2-1 in the baseball game in the top of the 5th. This game will be a 7-inning game as the first one of the doubleheader was a 9-inning game. The game you're watching also 7 innings. Well, it's set for 6, but we'll definitely see more than 7 as scoreless. In the first Central off Ouachita started. Snyder was at half inning unscathed, and East Central has not had a hit since then. Ouachita also 2 hit. 0-2-2 the line score for East, 0-2 line score for Ouachita as we start the top of the 7th. Square around the build it. Nice coverage job by Rossi Ornelas at second base as Kaylee Ham tried to reach on a bunt. Going to go for put out on the bunt for the first out of the inning. Nice job of fielding her position coming out of the circle by Nikki Schneider. Mingwa comes up, struck out in the first, flew out, filled in. She back down the 7th changeup. Nice discipline by Mingwasser to hold off on that one. 2 in the season, one of only 2 non-freshmen in this East Central lineup. The board now has 0-2, but I thought they called that one first one a ball. Yeah, 1-1. He is going to correct the count. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Now in the top of the 7th. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-2 the count now as Mingwasser turns on that one and fouls it down the third base line. 1 ball, 2 strikes as the home plate umpire, Robert Yilder, lets everybody know that the scoreboard is not right. It does have no balls and 2 strikes, but it is a 1 ball, 2 strikes out here in the top of the 7th inning. Mingwasser, the 5, so the middle of the lineup, batting for East Central. The 0-2 pitch, frame job by Jillian Jones. Was that ball? So now 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch, base hit up the middle, just under the glove of a diving Hope Wade. Nice job on a 2-2 with that changeup. A single to center brings up the designated there. Actually, they're going to have a pinch hitter. That is going to be Ricky Hadley. Ricky Hadley batting for Eagle. Bats with one out in the top of the 7th. Hadley, a freshman from Piedmont, Oklahoma, takes a first pitch fastball outside of the zone. It was high for ball 1. Hadley batting .250 on the season, 28 at bats. The 1-0 pitch and it won way outside the zone for Schneider to even the count at 1-1. So Hadley pinch hits for Miranda Garza. The 1-1 went, but it was a foul ball to Jones as she to second. Collect that one and throw it back to Schneider in the circle. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's the 18th game that Hadley actually pitch. This caught by Heather Brown. The second inning.
Number 15, Josie Goodman.
Kaylee Ham retreated back to first base as the ball was to the right center field side, bringing Brown's momentum towards first base to where she would have been able to make a throw, but no throw. Josie Goodman now with 2 outs, runner on first here in the top of the 7th. Fastball high. Goodman 0 for 2, struck out in the 2nd, flew out to left field, leading off the 5th inning. She bats with a pinch runner, Whitney Kimberlin, on first base. The 1-0 pitch fouled back to the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, top of the 7th, no score. Only 5 base runners allowed by Ouachita pitcher Nikki Schneider. 2 of those first pitch, swing and a miss. It went upstairs for ball 2. And the Schneider to Madison Miller at first base, trying to catch the runner. You got 2 strikes on the batter, just a little breakdown, but now that does put a runner in scoring position. Josie Goodman swung and missed. That 3, she took a step across the plate, thinking it was strike 3. Nikki Schneider saw the runner off of first base and threw the ball to Miller, but it didn't happen to that. It's going to score. Ouachita breathes a huge sigh of relief as Nikki Schneider gets the fly out. Joe to Heather Brown. Heather Brown got out 2, ranging to her left. She got out 3 on the fly center field to make the catch. And Washington, what had really been a clean game, got a little bit dicey there. Thankfully it was a 1-2 pitch, and Brown was able to make that catch. So for East Central in the 7th, no runs. There was 1 hit. There was 1 error and 1 runner left on base. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Ouachita will have the 4, 5, 6 hitters. Jillian Jones, Callie Jordan, Madison Miller if they want to win it in regulation. When we return, Ouachita Network.
Baseball for me just kind of was the glue that kept my family together. I feel like I was able to come here and get my triple majors, high level against in the country. There's a lot of out here in Division, a lot of players and a lot of great people.
So we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. No score. Jillian Jones, Callie Jordan, Madison Miller scheduled to bat for Ouachita. If anybody reaches, it'll be Callie Turnbow, the 7-hitter, as Ouachita tries to win this one in regulation. We mentioned East Central only had 5 base runners. Through the first 3 innings, Ouachita did not have any. They had 2 base runners in the 4th, 1 base runner in the 5th, and 1 base runner in the 6th. So also only 5 base runners for Ouachita so far through the first 6 innings. Jillian Jones 0 for 2, the strikeout in the 2nd, and the line out to shortstop in the 4th. She'll lead things off here in the 7th. First pitch she sees, not as much velocity as we've seen from Harris. Might have taken a little bit off of that one. Got Jones looking, and she's ahead in the count 0-1. Jones is the home run leader for Ouachita. Not saying anything about that, just throwing it out there. There is a chance. The 0-1 pitch, high fly ball in the infield to the shortstop, over to make the catch. That is Josie Goodman, and Jillian Jones pops out to out of the inning. Callie Jordan comes up. She's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 4th, with 1 out here in the 6th. 7 strikeouts today for East Central pitcher Taya Harris. Shot into left center field. That's going to get down. It could be extra bases, but a nice job by East Central field. Charlie Avery of tracking that one down to her right. That was in the left center field gap right at the 205 sign in the left center field alley. She did a nice job of getting around on that and holding Callie Jordan to a single. So a single to left center field for Callie Jordan brings up Madison Miller. Also 0 for 2, flew out to left field in the 2nd, flew out to left field in the 5th. She 1 on and 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th, no score. One out. Do you try to advance the runner or let her hit? She's swinging away. Madison Miller fouled that one out of play. If you bunt a runner over, you're giving up an out, and the way Taya Harris has pitched today, you don't want to give up any more than she's going to give you. The 0-1 pitch as the wind blows from left field to right field. Miller calls time, gets her instructions from the umpire, nods her head. She goes. Misses inside for ball 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. To the Ouachita junior Madison Miller, the first baseman, Nashville, Arkansas. The pitch. It's got a chance to put back the wall. And that was extra bases for Matt Miller. That was about 6 feet, 8 now. Drive off the middle of the wall. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Big pitch here. If Harris can battle back after Miller timed that one up. Almost early though. The 1-2 pitch. That was a take for Madison Miller. That one was just for ball 2. That was a 50-50 that went Ouachita's way. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. The 2-2 swing and another foul ball. That's a line drive rocket into the bullpen just past the third base. The umpire, Robert Yelder, cleans off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The sun comes out in the eyes of the right side of the infield and outfield. That could play if she goes opposite field. The 2-2 pitch. High fly ball to deep left field. Is it going to go? It is! A walk-off 2-run home run from Madison Miller. Scoring count. And that is your ball game. That is a Washita walk-off winner from Madison Miller. Your at 2. East Central 0. The Tigers move to 14-14 and win game 1 of this 3-game series against East Central. The section of the game comes on a big one. That was Madison, a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 7th with 1 out. She had timed up. She had pulled a couple of those. We said 3 pitches earlier. She had taken the line drive off feet foul. She fouled another one, roped it over the dugout, and she timed that one up just nicely and was able to get that one to go over the left field fence. The fence reads 190, and that was probably 10 to 15 feet past that. The left fielder for East Central, Jana Reed, went, could not, and that is the ball game. So for Washita in the 7th, 2 runs on 2 hits for no error, for no runners left on base. Score for East Central, no runs on 3 hits. There were 3 3 errors, 4 runners on base. For Washita, 2 runs on 4 hits. No errors. Washita left 3 runners on base. Nikki Schneider again 5 on the season. Taya Harris gets hit with one of the toughest losses you'll have, giving up only 4 hits. 3 innings were perfect, and before Washita even got a base runner, Taya Harris 7 in season. Again, your final score: Washita 2, East Central 0. The Tigers move to 14-14 in Great American Conference play. East Central falls to 13-15, 17-17 overall. Both teams 500 on the season, about as even as you could go, and this game 1 showed it today. Again, your final score: Washita 2, East Central 0. The Tigers of Washita take game 1 of the 3-game set, and we'll be back for the doubleheader tomorrow here from Sully Anderson Field at noon. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Again, our thanks to the crew of the Washita Sports Digital Network crew of Katie Hatchett and Jamari Bailey in the truck, Wyatt Ashlock and James Jolly on camera for them. This is Chris Babb. Matthew Branch will be back in this seat tomorrow to bring you the doubleheader. First pitch this afternoon. We'll be back on the air about 11:45. Have a good evening, everybody.